Hello and welcome to this Paint With Me Q&A video. I'm going to be answering your questions from the YouTube post the other day, and I'm pretty excited to answer them because there were some really good ones. So we'll get onto those in a minute, but first I'll just tell you what I'm working on here. So I wanted to relax for an hour and just paint a loose, well, it's loose for me, watercolour landscape. So if you're familiar with my work, you'll know that my usual painting style is fairly precise with quite a lot of tiny details. So this means that each painting can take anywhere between several hours to several days to complete. So sometimes I like to paint in this looser way, just allowing myself to enjoy the process. So I'm going to quickly share some new paintings that I've been working on recently. All of these will be available in my shop update next week. So I'll leave a link to my mailing list below if any of you feel like signing up to be notified whenever I launch a new collection. Okay, so let's get on to the questions. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to read out the names because I feel like I'm going to butcher them. So we'll just read out the questions and then I'll give my answers. So the first question at random, which one should we go for? Do you have favourite art YouTubers you like to watch? Okay, I'm going to be very honest in answering this and say that I do have a few, but I don't watch anywhere near as much art on YouTube as I used to. And I think there are a few reasons for that. One of them is that I've got into stitching recently, and there are so many like stitching and embroidery channels, so I really enjoy watching those and kind of learning more about it. And I really enjoy lifestyle channels as well. One of my favourites is Country Living UK. I would say they're a real comfort watch for me. I find it quite inspiring, and it's often quite nature based as well. And yeah, it's just really nice cozy, calm channel. As for the stitching channels, I'm not going to mention all of those because the question was about art channels. So I think at the top of the list we have to have Crixus. She's my friend, but she also has the most cozy, warm, friendly and inspiring art channel. So please check it out because it is absolutely lovely. I also really enjoy Orla Stevens. She's an artist from Scotland who does a lot of location drawing and painting. So she's often outside in the beautiful Scottish countryside or by the coast, and she gives you lots of ideas for loosening up your work and just being a bit more expressive with your marks and just enjoying the process of painting. And she also comes across as being a really nice person, so I always enjoy her channel. Jackson's Art, they have a good channel as well. I really like their artist interviews. I find those fascinating. And Deep Light Watercolours, who I am an ambassador for, have just started a channel. So they are called Studio by Deep Light. I wanted to get that right, so I wrote it down earlier. They have a couple of new videos on there, and that's just a really inspiring channel. I know it's going to be lovely, so I'm excited to see what they do with that. Lee Foster Wilson, she's an artist and illustrator in Cornwall, and I loved her channel. And I say loved because I don't think she's posted anything for, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of a year, something like that. So Lee, if you're listening to this, please come back because I loved your channel. It was so inspiring and so calming. And I just love her insights into her art process. So that was really fascinating to me. And I think the other one that I really like to watch, that I find very aesthetically pleasing and also very calming, is Kiko Sabi. And maybe not so much an art channel, but more of a crafts channel. But yeah, really enjoyable. Okay, so the next question is not art related, as the person points out, but they say they'd be curious to know whether I let my hair go grey. A while ago you posted something along these lines, and they say that I can overlook the question if I consider it to be too personal or not relevant. Well, I'm happy to talk about it, and yes, I am actually letting my hair go grey. I've had dark brown, chestnutty, kind of reddish coloured hair for most of my adult life. Actually, my hair's been so many different colours. I've really experimented with dyeing my hair in the past, and it's been everything from blonde streaks through to jet black. And at the moment, it's partly brown and partly grey. But yeah, I'm 6 months in now. And the reason I'm only 6 months in is because I had a bit of a blip a few months ago. So I started on this journey back in May of last year. I decided that I was just done with dyeing my hair. I got tired of having to do it every few weeks, and you always have that problem, even after about a week or two, if your hair grows quite quickly after you've dyed it, where the roots are showing already a little bit. And so I was always self-conscious, and I was always thinking, gosh, I'm going to have to make time to dye it in the next few weeks, and when am I going to do that? And I don't know, it's just a whole load of like logistics and nonsense. So there was that aspect of it, and also the fact that dumping a ton of chemicals on my head every few weeks is probably not the best thing for my health. I have always loved the way grey hair looks when it's really well kept and it's silky and it's long. I love that look. I think it looks really cool. And I know that people actually pay to have their hair dyed that colour now. So I was like, I'll just give it a go. So I dyed my hair just before my birthday in May of last year. And then I decided that I wasn't going to dye it anymore. And I managed to get to the 3.5 month mark, and I dyed it. And then I loved it. I was like, I feel like myself again. Because obviously I'd had that really awkward stage where it's just starting to come in and it just looks like you haven't bothered to dye your hair. Like that horrible phrase, you're letting yourself go, you know, that kind of thing. That's kind of how I felt. But I dyed it like once more after that in October. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to give it another go. And here we are. So more than 5.5 months later, heading towards the 6 month mark, I now have a significant amount of steely grey hair, and I really love the colour, I have to say. The only thing is that awkward stage. I mean, it's not as awkward as it was in the earlier months, the earlier stages, but I still wish it would grow a bit more quickly, because I would love to just be totally grey, like to have these flowing silvery grey locks, but you know, I'm going to have to wait for that. But yeah, I am sticking to it, so that's where we're at the moment. You can actually go to my Instagram. I have a couple of photos up in a story. Like I've made a little highlight, and I shared for the first time my hair the other week. So I think that was about a month ago. So it's grown more than that since then. But you can go to my Instagram and have a look if you like. Okay, let's find the third question. Let's have a look. What should we answer? This one. How did your travel art kit work out? It worked out well. I actually haven't changed anything in it. I think it's exactly the same as when I posted the first video about it. I think I might have added 2 coloured pencils to it. But I have used it quite a bit. It's been out and about with me. Not recently, because I am a bit of a fair weather painter when it comes to painting outside. So I don't tend to go out location drawing in the winter. So obviously we've just been through the winter here. So we're coming into spring now, and the weather's getting better. And I'm looking forward actually to taking it out during the spring and summer and seeing what I can do with it, because I think it was quite late in the summer last year that I put it together. So I was able to take it out a bit, but yeah, not that much. But hopefully coming up, we will have some nice weather throughout the next few months, and I'll get out there and hopefully film some of it as well, so you can see me working with it again. But yeah, I really love having a little travel art kit. It's great to have all of the materials in there so I can just grab it, and I'm not thinking, you know, kind of mulling over what should I put in there and all of that, because it's just already there, and I love that aspect of it. So yeah, I would recommend, if you really want to paint or draw outside, to put together a little kit. It doesn't need to be anything complicated, and just have something so that it's ready to go, so that you don't have to think about what to put in there. If you're going out the door, you can just grab it and take it with you. Take that and a sketchbook and you're good to go. This is an interesting one. Do you know all of your colours well? I mean, do you know that this yellow and that blue is the best green? I have to mix all the time, but do you know in your head or by knowledge what to use? I am not, I would say, the world's greatest paint mixer in that I don't tend to do it that much. I do mix colours. I mix quite often, actually. In fact, all the time when I'm working in acrylic or acrylic gouache. I don't do it so much, weirdly, in watercolour. And I think that's because I have so many watercolours that are, I don't know whether you call them convenience colours. To me, they're just inspiring colours that I loved and wanted to have. Because when I'm painting, I kind of want to just reach for the colour that I want. And I don't want to be mixing all the time. I like to mix a little bit, but not all the time. So I'm not somebody who is going to have like just a 6-colour mixing palette or something like that. I have big paint palettes with lots of colours in them. So I would say no, I don't know that this yellow and that blue would make the best green. I tend to do it instinctively. So it basically is like, if I want a warm green, I would choose a warm blue and a warm yellow and just go for it and just keep adding. Like if it looks a little bit dark, I'd probably add a bit more yellow or something like that. I would just do it very instinctively. This is how I've always colour mixed. But as I say, when it comes to watercolours, I'm not mixing colours all the time. Yeah, so that's the answer to that question. Okay, let's have a look and see. If you were starting your art journey all over again with no skills, would you try a different direction, style or medium? So when I started my art journey, I used watercolour and also oils. So I was very much an oil painter for quite a long time. And I never really liked the smell, not necessarily of the oils, but of the turpentine and all of that. And it's not good for someone like me because I have migraines. So yeah, that's not the best medium to paint in. But back in, I don't know, was it my mid-20s? I think it was my mid-20s. I actually won an award at the Royal Institute of Painters in Watercolours at their annual exhibition at the Mall Galleries in London. It was a Young Artist Award for artists under the age of 30, and the prize was basically to choose £500 worth of art supplies from the Winsor & Newton catalogue. Now, at that stage of my career, this was like, I don't know, I'd won the lottery or something. Not only the recognition for my work, but also the fact that I could choose £500 worth of art supplies, which I would never, ever have been able to afford or been able to do. As part of that prize, I chose some acrylic paints. So it was the first time that I had the chance to start working in acrylics. And obviously got canvases, and I got a nice easel as well with the prize money. So I was all set up, and I basically switched from oils to acrylics. And that was my main medium. Acrylic on canvas was what I worked in for so many years. And it's only recently that I've really got back into doing watercolours more. Now that has become, at this moment in time, that is my main medium. So watercolour and traditional gouache. I also work in acrylic gouache as well. That's a whole other thing. But to get back to the question, if I was starting my art journey all over again, if I went back and I had no skills, would I try a different direction, style or medium? I think I would obviously not work in oils. I think I would just start with a small but good collection of watercolours and possibly acrylics. I think also when it comes to style, I'm just thinking, because I used to paint in, I would say, less of a folk art style. So at the moment, my work is kind of influenced by folk art quite a bit. And it wasn't back then so much. I would say that I would like to start in this style rather than have it develop. But it's very, very hard to say. It's it's funny when you think back, isn't it? Because I honestly don't know what I would do, but maybe I would ditch the oils. I don't think I would start with oils. Oh, this is an interesting question. What advice would you give to 20-year-old Natasha? I think it would be personal advice rather than art advice. And I would say don't be so trusting, and you have to realise that you're not going to be able to reason with everyone. So when I was younger, I used to think that everyone was inherently good, or pretty much everyone. I would think if somebody was acting in a way that wasn't very nice, that actually, there's probably a reason for this. And if I can just reason with them, if I can just talk to them, there are some people you can't reason with. I have long since given up on the idea that you can reason with everyone. And I've long since given up on the notion that everyone is inherently good, because this is definitely not true. I would tell myself, Natasha, you have to protect yourself and don't give your time to the wrong people. Stop trying to make people who don't like you like you. And I think another thing that I would really make myself aware of is that sometimes it can be people who are some of the closest people to you that will be the ones that you should watch out for. Gosh, I feel like this is such a big subject. I could talk about this for a long time, but we are limited with our time, so I won't. But I would basically say, Natasha, learn about narcissists, learn about red flag behaviours, and just protect yourself. It's not for you to fix everyone or to fix a bad situation that isn't of your making. It's not up to you. Just protect yourself and concentrate on the things that bring you joy. I think that would be my main advice to myself. Okay, let's see if we can answer a couple of quicker questions. So there's one here that says, I wanted to ask you if maybe you should consider making some podcasts about the artist's life / philosophy. A great idea would be if you do podcasts with your fiancé, Dominic. Yeah, Dominic and I have thought in the past about doing a podcast together, but honestly, it takes so much time to do something like that. And we're already spreading ourselves thin in our lives. So I don't think we'll be doing a podcast together. But I do think that we will be appearing in each other's videos occasionally. So watch this space because, Dominic appeared in one of my videos recently. We were reviewing a book together and it's been a very popular video. We loved filming it together. And so, we're thinking of doing maybe occasional appearances on each other's channels in the future. Dominic's channel isn't up and running yet, but it will be hopefully sometime soon. I'll leave all of the details of the people I've mentioned, including Dominic, in the description underneath the video. So check there if you want to go and follow and check his channel out and all of that. As I say, there's nothing on there at the moment, but hopefully we can rectify that soon. Okay, next question. Is there a quick one here that I could answer? This one. What's the most fun for you at the moment? A medium, a stage in creating art, a particular colour or hue family, or anything else really? Without a doubt, the most fun for me at the moment is working in watercolour. I'm just loving everything about it, and I feel like it's really taking my work to the next level. Even though my work is still quite precise in many ways, it has more life to it and has an expressiveness to it that I think it didn't have before, and that's really all down to watercolour. So yeah, I'm loving it. Okay, I think that we have reached the end because the end of the video is coming up, so I'm running out of time. So I would just like to say before we go that if you enjoyed this, please check out my Patreon, because I have over 90 videos on there at the moment that you will gain access to the moment you become a member of the Arts and Crafts Club tier. And I also have a new tier called Art Advocates, and there are currently 2 people in this tier. They are Carol Repholz and Ter Sands. And I'm terribly sorry if I have mispronounced your names. I'm terrible at pronouncing names, so please let me know if I've mispronounced them and I will correct it next time. But these 2 people are offering a little bit of extra support each month, which obviously helps me to make these videos both on YouTube and Patreon. A big thank you to all of my Patreon members and all of my YouTube subscribers. Thank you all for being here and for supporting my art journey. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, because it will help it to be seen by more people. And leave a comment below saying watercolour is great if you made it to the end of this video. Even if you don't think watercolour is great, just say watercolour is great and I'll know that you made it to the end. Okay everyone, take care. I'll see you soon, and bye for now.